guys, it's Alexis, aka The Sloth Reader, and I'm here today to do another Top 5 Wednesday video. Top 5 Wednesday is hosted by Thoughts on Tome, so I will leave her channel as well as the Goodreads group down below in case you're interested in checking either out. This week's topic is our favorite bromances. So this is basically a very close platonic friendship between two characters who identify as being male. And so we're just gonna go ahead and get right on into it. The first one I'm going to mention is no shocker, and that is the Raven Boys from the Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This whole list could have been me talking about how much I individually love the relationship between Gansey and Adam, or the relationship between Gansey and Ronan, or Ronan and Noah. All of the boys in this book have such a close and special and different friendship with each other than the other characters do. The relationship that Adam and Gansey have is totally different between the relationship that Ronan and Gansey have. And I love that. I think that's one of the things that's so special about this book, is that you have that. All of these relationships, these friendships, are so specifically nuanced. And they are all different from each other, and these characters are all different from each other, and that affects how different their relationships are. And that is just one of the things that I think makes The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater so special, is just falling in love with this group of friends. And yeah, love it. The next one I'm going to mention is Percy and Grover from the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Rick Riordan. I don't think the relationship between Percy and Grover gets nearly enough attention. I think people get caught up in their love for individual characters, but honestly, Percy and Grover are so ride or die for each other. I love it. Like, there is never a point in the book series when Percy is like, we have to save Grover, Grover's in trouble, I have to go save Grover. And you know that in the opposite circumstances, Grover, despite being terrified by everything, feels the same way. Percy's his best friend, and Grover's like, I have to help him if he's in trouble. And they so, unquestioningly, have faith in each other. If Grover's like, I don't want to spoil the book series, but if Grover is like, hey, I'm pretty sure this is going on, blah, 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 Percy's like, I 100% believe you, no questions asked. And Grover does the same thing for Percy. They just, unequivocally, with no questions asked, just dive right in for each other. If Percy's like, Grover, I need you, this is happening, Grover's like, I got you, fam. And I love that. I love that relationship, and I love that you only get to see them grow as friends through the course of the series, and I love that. The next one I'm going to mention is another group of friends, and that is the Greasers from The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. I think the relationship between the Greasers in the story is what makes this story so timeless for a lot of people. I think a lot of people read this book and they connect with it. This book is a lot about Ponyboy and the relationship he has with his two biological brothers, but such a huge theme in this book is friendship, and male friendship specifically, and the relationship that these guys have with each other, and how it is all different, and that they all represent something different to one another. And you get to see that with Ponyboy, as Ponyboy, being the narrator, is describing the different relationships he has with all of the guys in their group, and he's describing the different relationships that the guys all have with each other. And I think that's what makes people so in love with this story as a story, is that they see that and they connect with that story and the friendship in it. And so yes, I love the relationship the Greasers all have with each other. The next one I'm going to mention is Kel and Rye from the Shades of Magic series by V.E. Schwab. Kel and Rye are technically brothers, I guess you could say, because Kel was actually adopted by Rye's family. But that's how they view each other, right? Is that they view each other as being brothers. They're not related by blood, and there's a world of differences between them. And that becomes more apparent through the series, that they aren't brothers. But the friendship that they have for each other, both of them, without question, would give their lives for each other, especially Kel. And that's something Kel addresses and has turmoil with throughout the entire series, is that he would give his life for Rye, and that Rye is, for the most part, one of the most important things in his life. And Rye feels the same way about Kel, and that's so obvious in the fact that you see them alternatingly grappling with this devotion and this loyalty that they have to one another. And that's the thing that I love about this series so much, being a Hufflepuff, and Kel being a Hufflepuff, is that like that theme of loyalty is so important, and it's so blatantly clear and obvious in the relationship between Kel and Rye that you can tell without any questions that they would do anything for each other, you know? And that does cause turmoil for them in certain aspects, and just, I love the relationship between Kel and Rye. Favorite bros. Favorite bros. The last one I'm going to mention I feel like is a pretty big one, and that is the bromance between Frodo and Samwise Gamgee from the Lord of the Rings trilogy by J.R.R. Tolkien. Now, arguably, I think you could find a bromance pretty heavily throughout most of the characters in Lord of the Rings. I think most of the Fellowship kind of has a bromance. I think if you look at The Hobbit, you know, there's a pretty bromance-heavy theme in The Hobbit between the dwarves and Bilbo. But specifically the relationship between Sam and Frodo is so wonderful and is so special. And again, part of it is how much I love Sam's character and how much I connect to Sam's character, Hufflepuff. But like, Sam literally chooses to go on a journey because he knows Frodo needs him to be there. Because Frodo asks him to. And Sam's like, cool. Like, Sam really didn't have any obligation to go with Frodo to destroy the ring. Like, his only obligation is to Frodo because Frodo's his bro. Like, that's why. That's why he went. And there were so many times when he could have decided he didn't want to continue, but he doesn't because he knows Frodo needs him. And that becomes so plainly obvious through the course of the series as you're watching Frodo grapple with the power of the ring. That becomes so obvious, and it's so obvious to Sam, and Sam refuses to give up on Frodo because Frodo needs him. And Sam's gonna be ultimate #1 bro, and he's gonna hang it out, and you know, and he takes abuse from Frodo in certain instances because of reasons, but still, like, he literally spends 3 chunky books worth of time constantly, pretty much with his life being threatened, and he does it because of Frodo. Like, and I'm putting more emphasis on Sam just because of how much I love Sam's character, but you know, there are many times when we see Frodo show that same loyalty towards Sam, and show that same devotion to Sam, but it's just like, guys, like, I hate to use this phrase twice in the same video, but they're so ride or die for each other, and I love it, and it's just, I love it. It's one of the best parts of the Lord of the Rings, is just the bros being bros towards each other. Love it. Alright guys, so that was my favorite bookish bromances. I would absolutely love to hear what you guys' favorite bromances were, and I'll see you guys soon with another video.